Hello, welcome to Animal Nonsense.
That's really good. That's the best we've done it.
Oh,
That's the best we've managed to do the introduction so far.
I'm Jess.
I can't say my own name.
You're David.
You're Jess. But then I've got a list, but so saying Jess is really hard for them.
They get the idea.
They know well enough at this. Because now we're a few episodes in, they know us, and anyone new, whatever, they'll get used to it. All right. Today is the day of Children in Need, which is a BBC charity appeal that they do to raise money for different children's causes. It's been running for a really long time.
Yeah.
I was in the audience for it. I've always watched it religiously. I just love the idea of it.
Yeah.
I get romantic about broadcast stuff. And then the opening number was the cast of EastEnders singing Oliver Twist.
I feel like I remember that one.
It was really fun. But you always had that. You'd have like the cast of Bad Girls sing Jailhouse Rock or something like that. You would take, or newsreaders used to do a song.
Yeah. It's lots of silly sketches, isn't it?
And the main mascot for it is a bear called Pudsey Bear.
Yeah.
And that's how it relates to our podcast, because we're going to have a little bit of a look at the history of Pudsey Bear himself, but also the history of teddy bears. How did the teddy bear come about? A little bit of history of Children in Need. The BBC's first children's charity appeal was broadcast on the radio on Christmas Day in 1927. It raised £1,342, which is roughly £107,000 in today's money. The first TV appeal came in 1955 and ran every year until 1979, and it was hosted by Harry Corbett and Sooty, which I think is where the idea for a yellow bear for Pudsey ended up coming
Explain
from.
who Sooty is. I think I had like a little Sooty hand puppet when I was a kid.
I had one too. I had Sweep as well. He was like his grey dog.
And Sooty was a bear, wasn't it?
That's right. He was a bear. So I have something to show you. So once a year I perform at a tattoo festival in Blackpool. And on the North Pier in Blackpool, it was relatively bad weather, as it often is up north. And I turned the corner and the original Sooty was right there.
Oh.
The original Sooty was bought by Harry Corbett on the North Pier in Blackpool. And the yellow fur of the bear could not be seen clearly enough on black and white TV.
Okay.
And so he rubbed soot from the fireplace onto his ears to make them black.
Oh, okay.
So he would have more of an edge when you could see he was lined a little bit better when you could see more black and white TV. One of the most remarkable things about Sooty, and it's why it's my favourite entertainment story, is that everything that's remarkable about Sooty came out of Harry Corbett, the human's own limitations. And they all became Sooty's most defining traits and the reason that made him special. And so Harry Corbett was not a ventriloquist, so he couldn't throw his voice or make it look like Sooty was talking. And so famously, Sooty doesn't talk, he's a mute.
Yeah. Doesn't he squeak though?
No, Sweep squeaks.
Okay.
Sooty's nothing.
Just nothing. Okay.
He can whisper though, although we never hear it as the viewer, because he would bang his little yellow paw down on the desk, and then his human owner would lean down, and then Sooty would whisper in his ear.
Yeah.
But that led to Sooty doing more like physical humour. You would hit like Harry's finger with a hammer and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And which kids loved all that mayhem. Also, the magic. They were using early TV camera effects, and because he wasn't a ventriloquist and couldn't talk to the puppet, they would sort of like wave a magic wand and a dog would appear or that kind of thing. He also played the drums. Do you remember Sooty play the drums?
I think I do actually, yeah.
He had little sticks tied to each paw.
Oh, that's cute.
The first telethon named Children in Need was run in 1980, and perhaps in reference to Sooty, then the Children in Need mascot became a yellow bear, and it was designed by a Yorkshire designer called Joanna Lane, who was born in Pudsey in Yorkshire, hence the name.
Oh, so it's Pudsey Bear, yeah.
Before we go into the history of the teddy bear, do you mind closing your eyes for a moment? Because I want you to meet someone.
Okay.
Right, now outside it, open your eyes.
Oh.
Now, outside of my mum, my dad, and my sister, no other person has ever met him. His name is Old Bear, and he is exactly one morning older than me because he was bought on the day I was born. Oh. And they went into Boots, and that's where he came from. And the reason that I know that is because it's on his label. And I asked this recently, and sometimes you've had something for so long that you don't really think about it, and then it blows your mind to have new information about it.
Yeah.
So if you look on his label, it says boots and it says small jointed bear.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mum about this recently, and I found out that you had 3 sizes of bear that all looked identical. So you have a small jointed bear, a medium jointed bear, and a large jointed bear. And the idea of this bear that I've known and loved all of my life having like a bigger older brother and an even bigger older brother blew my mind. That was what was on the shelf on that particular day.
You know, he's from a book series.
So is he? Because I've always called him Old Bear.
Old Bear because his character looks exactly the same as his character in the book is Old Bear.
I've always called him Old Bear. And I it had a tune, didn't it? Read us a story, Old Bear. Do, 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 do.
I don't know, but I know I've got a book with this guy in it. He looks exactly like him. And he's called Old Bear.
He's really lovely.
He's very sweet. He looks very loved as well.
He's the most loved bear on earth. And I always used to believe when I was a kid that he and I were related, because if you look at Old Bear's eyes and then you look at my eyes, I've got amber coloured eyes, which apparently if you're Caucasian is really unusual. But Old Bear, although he's yellow mustard coloured, he has exactly the same coloured eyes as me. And it used to remind me of apple juice when I was a kid. And so I always used to believe that we were related. And so that is Old Bear. Oh, also, my grandmother knitted the blue scarf.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I don't know if the small one was all they could afford, probably, but I could not ask for a better companion in life.
Lovely. Maybe your grandma's listening on a different plane.
I hope so.
Maybe, yeah.
I would love to think so. The history of the teddy bear. Oddly enough, and I really love when this happens, and it can't really happen anymore because the internet has ruined this, but the teddy bear emerged in 2 alternative places at almost exactly the same time in 1902. And there is no reason to assume that one had anything to do with the other because the world was a lot bigger then. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Great minds think alike.
There's an unpleasant story about President Theodore Roosevelt who refused to hunt a baby bear. And there's a lot more to it. And because there was a lot of sucking up to the president, he hadn't been able to hunt anything successfully. And so a baby bear was found and tied to a tree so he would be able to hunt it.
Okay.
And he refused to do it. But having said that, the act of tying the baby bear to the tree really injured it.
Yeah.
And so it's like a horrible, horrible story. But
they did this in House of the Dragons with the stag. They did this exact thing with the king, was just not a bloodthirsty hunter, so they just kind of held it down. And
isn't it really awful?
Yeah.
It's really horrible. But I don't know if they were called a PR department then, but whoever did the president's press releases then realised that him not shooting a baby bear was seen as an act of compassionate strength.
Compassionate strength, okay, that's good, because often compassion is confused with weakness, isn't it?
A cartoon was made of the incident in a popular newspaper at the time, and then a toy manufacturer called Morris Mitchton began to make them, and they were called Teddy's Bears because of Theodore. Like Teddy was an abbreviation of it.
Okay, I didn't realise that.
But also unconnected to this, around the same time, the Steiff company in Germany, which is still going, began making toy bears. And bears are not native to Germany. And
no. And you think, why a bear? Because a bear is predatory and big and, dangerous. Why choose that animal?
Well, they proved to be
for children to play with.
They proved to be really controversial. Okay. And so this was 1902, they became to be released. In 1907, they had become so popular in America that there was a priest in Michigan who declared teddy bears to be don't listen, Old Bear.
I'm covering his ears.
He declared teddy bears to be a horrible monstrosity.
Why?
And that parents who gave their daughters a teddy bear instead of a more traditional human-like doll, this priest reckoned that it would suppress little girls' natural maternal instincts that they were encouraged to play with when they were mothering their dolls.
The patriarchy.
And that it would cause, and this is a direct quote.
Oh my God, go on.
The proliferation of teddy bears with little girls would cause a total end to the human race. And it caused a national boycott, and it developed enough steam. So there was.
That means people actually believed took what he was saying seriously.
And there was a rejection of teddy bears right across America, but they returned
They
because
prevailed because people saw through the nonsense.
exactly after a number of years, people realised that the claim was ridiculous.
Yes.
Not many animals are yellow. And so this is returning to kind of Pudsey Bear now.
Yeah.
Not many animals are yellow. There's around 42. And they're mostly birds, reptiles, or fish.
Well, things that live in a desert environment, I would have thought. I'm thinking like lions and camels and stuff like that.
The reason yellow was chosen for Pudsey Bear and Pikachu, actually, although they didn't know about each
it's
other.
a similar yellow. It's that bright. Doesn't exist in nature very much, yellow.
It's, according to child psychological studies, that the impact that yellow has on children is that it positively improves their level of serotonin in the central nervous system, and it gives them a feeling of happiness.
It's known to be a happy colour.
So it's really interesting that that's the reason that Pudsey was chosen. And I always loved that Pudsey was a happy bear. Yeah. Even though he only had one eye. I don't know what happened to his eye.
Yeah. There must be some kind of law about what happened to his eye, surely.
I don't know if there's a law as such, but there must be a backstory.
I mean, like folklore, like backstory.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well,
not like a law.
Like the government's like, right, we've got to sort out the history of this bear. I would like to play you one quick recording. This, I really, really love that this happened in entertainment history relating to bears.
Down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down in the woods today, you better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic.
Now, it's interesting that when you mentioned that bears are perhaps a more ominous animal.
Yeah.
The introduction is actually quite spooky for what's a
children's toy. Yeah.
But
also bears and picnics, dreadful combination, I would have thought, in real life.
Yeah, it really is. I can't imagine them folding the rug neatly afterwards. Yeah, it would. The music for that particular song was written by a guy called John Walter Bratton in 1907 in New York City. The part that interests me is that he gave the instrumental piece of music, the Teddy Bear's Picnic, the characteristic two-step. But it was an instrumental. There were no words. You could have called it anything.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until 1932 that the lyrics that we just heard were written for it by an Irish songwriter. And it was recorded by the man that you just heard called Henry Hall and the BBC Concert Orchestra. And it became a big hit. But isn't that interesting? He could have called it anywhere. He could have called it How the Leopard Had Spots or whatever. Yeah. But I love that it took 25 years for someone to have... You've got a gift of a title, the Teddy Bear's Picnic, and no one to put words to it. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. Kind of like us with our...
Yeah, it really is.
Not knowing our title.
Very much so.
Was there any particular species of bear that originated the teddy bear, or is it just bears?
I honestly don't know, and particularly for Steiff, because even now they do lots of bears with like they're not the most realistic looking bears.
No, okay.
They do lots of different colours and all the rest of it. But you don't have, I mean, unless I'm really wrong, I don't think you have bears in Germany or mainland Europe.
We used to have bears in England.
Did we really?
Yeah. Yeah, like a long time ago. We used to have bears and wolves we used to have.
Did we really have bears, or were they just hunted to extinction in England?
Yeah. I mean, this is going back a long way, but I'm sure we did. Definitely in Europe, you had bears.
Oh, so perhaps they had more to do with bears than I thought.
Yeah, so like in like the Bavarian forests and things, I think bears were rife.
Rife. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I don't know. Presumably, the type of... I'm guessing that this bear hunt that President Theodore Roosevelt went on was somewhere in America.
Yeah. You would assume. I never thought the teddy for teddy bear was from Theodore.
Yes, from Theodore. And it's been really polished up, that story, because it's quite a horrible story.
Yeah.
All right, so I believe that's about it. But
lovely. If
people would like to raise money for children in need, then please do. It's a really good cause.
Yes.
And you don't always know what's happening next door. And so there might be a kid who's in need of something.
Yes.
And so if you do have anything to donate, it really doesn't have to be a lot. I certainly don't have a lot to give, but I will be giving something. It's raised more than £1 billion since 1980. Amazing. It's a brilliant, brilliant charity. And you will hear more from Animal Nonsense.